Welcome to the Legion Outriders podcast, your source for the latest Legion news, opinion, and analysis. And now, the Outriders.
How's it going, Outriders? Matt, Dan, and John.
What's up? I mean, it's the third week in a row, right? Third
I
episode
think
in
just
a row.
about, yeah. Is it a row? I think we might have missed a week in there.
One week,
but still, hey,
3 out of 4
you're
ain't
here
bad.
today, too. So he's honorary Outrider John again. Glad to have you.
Glad to be back.
How you doing, Dan?
Spoiler alert, I hate the AA5.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Spoiler
why don't you just give the game away? Fair enough. But yeah, we did. Well, John is over here because we got a bunch of games. Actually, Hefe was here earlier as well. Me and him played, and then Dan and John played, and we're going to talk about those games because we were trying out a couple of the, some AA5 goodness. You actually played the AA5. I took some upgrades for my T47, but we'll talk about that here in a minute.
I'm loving it. I'm going to go ahead and just say counterpoint to Dan right now. I like the AA5.
Oh, really? That's so weird. That's so weird you would think that. But let's go ahead and start off with our news. What's going on, Dan?
Oh, well, we were expecting quite a few things for May the 4th.
We were.
But, I mean, historically, looking back, because when this May the 4th didn't have that many announcements, I look back at the last few ones, and really, Lucas and Disney don't really do much on May the 4th. It's more of a merchandising thing.
Merchandising.
I mean, we did have Bad Batch come out, though.
The what now?
The Bad Batch.
Oh,
Yeah.
The Dad Batch?
Bad Batch, yes.
Yeah,
okay. No spoilers, of course.
No. Of course not.
But yes, no, 3 episodes are out so far, and it's looking good.
Yeah, I'm liking it a lot. It's the folks in the prequel memes Reddit have been dubbing this Clone Wars Season 8, and I kind of dig it.
Yeah, I mean, they're not wrong.
Yeah, it's actually really cool because the time frame, I don't think that's really a spoiler. You see it in the first 30 seconds. It's just continuing on basically where we left the Bad Batch in Season 7. And having the post-Order 66 perspective is really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is all pre-Galactic Civil War.
Yeah, because you haven't watched any of it, have you?
No.
Okay. Yes, well, it's leading to the GCW, so...
Okay, because I did watch the end of Clone Wars, so...
Yeah, so it's basically Order 66 on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't think this would be considered a spoiler, but they open the Bad Batch like they open every episode of Clone Wars, like with the voiceover, the same, like, in the news.
Yeah.
On the fall.
Well, yeah, exactly. So they start exactly.
He's a bad egg.
So yeah, I mean, this could be considered Clone Wars Season 8.
Yeah, but it's been really good. What else we got?
I mean, well, also on May the 4th, Disney dropped 2 shorts, which are kind of cool. They're called the Biomes and the Vehicle Fly-Throughs.
Dude, I actually love those.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have a local game store, friendly local game store that has, like, video monitors around, this is great background ambiance to put on during the Star Wars
Did you
night
see
on.
those?
No.
So basically for the biomes, they have like, was it Hoth and Tatooine and Mustafar. They just basically do slow flyovers, and they have like little things going on
cool.
and some music. So it's an ambiance thing. But,
Nice.
It's very, like, Planet Earth.
Why did we not have that playing while we were playing our games today?
I thought about it, but I couldn't think of a way to loop it because they're pretty short, actually. I think that it does it in 20 minutes. Is there a way to loop it, though?
Probably.
I mean, you could probably download it and, do it that way and set it up a manual. But it's actually pretty cool. Also, they did the vehicle fly-throughs. So we had Millennium Falcon.
And one of the First Order Star Destroyers.
Oh, is it the First Order one?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't really watching that one. I was just, Falcon. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's good ambiance. It's just slow panning. Because they spent all the money rendering these models.
Yeah, you can tell they're all... I don't think any of the stuff was practical effects for it. It was all just CG. But, just CG. It looked pretty cool.
So, I know you're excited about Celebration.
Dude, so excited. Yeah, we've got 3 hotels booked.
3?
Yeah. So they changed the date. It was supposed to be August of next year. They moved it up to end of May. So that's actually going to be nicer. Weather should be nicer in SoCal in May still.
Yeah, and since it's in Anaheim, it's a hop, skip, and a jump right over to Galaxy's Edge and see what's going on there.
Yeah, the trouble we're finding and why we actually have 2 different bookings. They're very expensive and not the usually places we go when we go to Disney because they're still shut down for COVID.
Really?
So, they don't even have booking available yet. So we're hoping when they spin up, we'll be able to go book there, but we have some just in case because I think the closest one we had didn't allow pets, and we usually travel with Dingo, our little smoosh pup. But and then the other one did, but it was like a mile away. So we'd like to be within walking distance of the park and the convention center. So hopefully one of those ones. If you need recommendations, shoot me a message. I'll give you my top secret locations. But it's the ones that are nearby.
Yeah, it doesn't. Well, I mean, there's a lot of hotels in that area.
There is.
But yeah, of course, everyone's excited for the Emmys coming up, right? No,
The Hoobies.
The Hoobies. Yeah, I know.
I didn't know we were still doing those.
Yeah, no. I mean, if the Golden Globes, which just came out, were any indication, no one really cares about that stuff anymore.
Well, didn't the Oscars have
Oscars,
the worst ratings
rating,
of all time?
Yeah,
Exactly, by far.
I mean, I'm okay with our culture just kind of progressing past that. I mean, isn't it just like an awards? It's people in the industry recognizing other people in the industry.
It's basically, yes.
Right.
That's Hollywood, patting its own back, basically.
Yeah, and that's fine. Every discipline or trade or whatever has their own there's the addies for people in like graphic design and things like that, for advertising. But everybody has their own thing. It's just, I think the public's maybe moving past that. They're like, okay, that's cool, whatever.
Yeah, but the whole reason we bring this up, of course, is Disney's now submitting all of because the Emmys are still being in consideration right now.
Oh, okay.
Whoever the powers that be that decide whoever wins these things.
Uh-huh.
But apparently the
Palpatine's behind the screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the movie studios have to submit who they want to have considered for Emmys.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure Disney is just doing this as a blanket because they submitted literally the entire
everybody
cast.
that's in there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're like, here you go.
And of course, the interesting thing, and I know we said we're not going to be a controversial political podcast, but Gina Carano got submitted.
Yeah.
So it seems weird that hey, we're gonna let this person go for reasons we don't like, and then
or maybe it's them saying, she did a good job. I mean, she got fired for reasons that we reserve the rights for, but
yeah, true. It was
she did a good
to the
portrayal.
show.
So maybe that, or it was just we forgot to delete that line on the email.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like the one that really shocks me is Carl Weathers isn't on here.
What?
Actually, no. All of the supporting cast, I didn't want to fill the show notes with the entire.
Oh, that's
supporting cast.
and all the Dutch translation team and.
But literally, they all of this. So Timothy Oliphant was on there. Ming-Wan Nen. All of these everybody.
Frog Lady.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, can we campaign for Frog Lady to win?
We actually looked up that actress's name a while back. She did some voice work for something else, but I can't remember.
I thought it was a lot of other creature
effects.
Not effects, but creature acting.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, Frog Lady did
but
a great
job.
But
of course, what I did put in the show notes, of course, Pedro Pascal, Juan Carlos Esposito, and Tamara Morrison all got submitted as well. But
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like there's copy paste and
yeah, I'm sure Disney is just like, here, we're going to give you every consideration so we have every chance to potentially win an award if we need to. So
it's a great show. Love all the actors in it. I don't think anybody had a Emmy worthy performance in it.
And John's a good judge because up until recently he used to watch every Oscar nominated film.
I did every single one of them. Yeah.
I mean, we're not joking. When did you stop doing that?
This year.
Oh,
this
okay,
year was
this
the
is the
first year where I was actually looking at the list of nominees for the Oscars. I'm like, I watched one of these movies. Borat was the only movie I had watched at the time.
And that was just because you were going to watch it
I was
anyways.
watching Borat anyway.
Wow. I feel bad that the age of John swilling sherry and judging the Oscar nominees is
I still
gone
swill
past as
sherry
well.
and judge. And
okay.
I just judge people and painting jobs and things like that. Just
there you go.
I moved on.
Go into your TikToks. But personal news, I now have my Lone Star Open ticket ready to go.
nice.
There's some people in the local area that might be joining as well. So.
Possibly. I'd like to. We'll see how things work out. I got a couple family things I have to do this summer. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's always great to be able to travel with somebody, but I'm going to try to, wedge it in where I can visit some friends in Texas I haven't seen in years. So Daniel Areco said he might be going too, so it might be.
Oh, nice.
But fine to go by myself. And then SoCal Open coming up. There's a whole open across the world thing going on.
Well, I mean, Frontline Gaming is just getting everything ramped back up for, normalcy.
It feels like coming out of a slumber because we've been cranking out games these last month and a half or so, I feel like. I got 2 games in this last week. Me and John have been playing pretty regularly on Tuesdays now. Then we got bonus games in today with everybody, so it feels really good.
It's interesting because I kind of got out of the game after LVO, the last LVO, and they're just starting in-person events now, so it's almost like I didn't miss anything.
You're a Puxatani John is Ground John's day. Yeah.
If John doesn't see a Wookiee.
Yeah.
The Wookiee see a shadow? Oh, no.
It's 2 more months of pandemic.
But yeah, I mean, and of course, after all that is LVO, which is 258 days away.
Yeah, which apparently I'll be joining the staff for this year.
Oh,
so
yes.
I reached out to LJ, asked him if he needed any help, and he was like, "Wait, really?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna go play SoCal. I'll play LSO, and help run things. Well, help assist people that are running things here."
So I remember the first LVO. Kyle Dornbos was working there, and so was Brendan Franz, and they were both dressed as Star Wars characters. Kyle was Han, and I think Brendan was Imperial Becky, or
he was
generic
an
Imperial officer.
Yeah. So where are you going with this?
What are you gonna dress
I'm
as?
gonna be a Tauntaun.
You're gonna be a
Yeah. Got to get my suit together. No, actually, that might be worth considering.
Did you ever get those Life Day robes?
I didn't. I do have one of the Black Series Wedge Antilles helmets on the way, though.
Oh, nice.
So maybe an orange jumpsuit is in my future. We'll
that
see.
would work. I think Jedi robes, you could pull off a good Obi-Wan.
Especially if I'm practicing this T47 list. I think it's a good fit.
Nice.
Yeah.
I do have Jedi robes. Never mind. I had those for Halloween last year. They're not the best quality, but they work. But anyways.
But yeah, you have a 1-3 record to uphold at Opens. So
do I?
Yes.
Does it need upholding?
Yes. 1-3 from the last one, right?
Yeah.
So 1-8, 1-7 overall. Did you go 1-4 the first
6?
LVO?
LVO 2019. You did 1-3, right?
1-5. Yeah. Wait, what? No. How many games do we play on this?
4. I think we played 4 last year.
Was it 4?
And I think the
thought it
first year was
more than that.
4.
First year was 3 rounds because there were less
Was it 3?
players.
Yes,
No.
that's right.
No,
yeah, and
I
then there
went-
was 2
unless you
separate
got
heats.
the-
I went
cut.
2-2.
You did?
The first year. I
Yeah,
went
you went to
2-2.
the next round though.
Because I won 2 games.
Yeah,
and I lost one against
not
Sean.
all of us did that.
I lost one against Sean from Legion Academy.
Yeah.
And lost one against Daniel Lupo
Okay.
the first year.
Yeah.
And then last year I went 3-1.
Oh, okay.
So I know we played 4.
No, yeah, we did
both
go
years.
because I went 2-2,
I don't
19,
know.
and then
I've,
2-2 and
I've
20.
got one
So-
win for the gamut. How about that?
Either way,
Let's stop talking
you have to
about this.
defend that
Thank
win.
you. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, really? Don't want to have any backsliding there. But do we have anything else we need to cover there? Oh, I see that there's some sort of note here, scribbled, some kind of scrambled subspace transmission about a countdown. Is it when the Death Star will be in range?
The 258 days I mentioned.
Oh, did you already mention it?
I already mentioned it.
All right, never
I
mind.
mean,
then.
you mentioned
I
it
tried
again.
to build it up.
58 days.
Okay. Well, fine. But anyway, so today's kind of event, we had the 4 of us all get together. So like I said, me, John, Dan, and Jeff. Was trying to get Jeff on here, but he had to skedaddle. But me and Jeff played a game, and we were playing Rebel on Rebel there. And a little bit, I'm basically trying out an armor skew list. Kyle, as you mentioned earlier, did a well-timed Rebels kind of armor skew list, speaking about T-47s and ATRTs, which I hadn't considered. So I went and retooled the T-47 list I've been playing. I think I've got 3 or 4 games in with it now. But now dropping down the troopers, buffing them up with the extra heavy weapons and things like that, making them a little bit more minimalized. Getting up to 11 activations, adding in 2 rotary ATRTs, and I played that today with just a basic Rebel officer. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. And then Jeff had 3 ATRTs himself, which was really interesting. And then some droids and a bunch of Rebel troops running around. And then, of course, K2SO, Jin, and Asian Kandor, which he really likes to run the Rebel squad.
Well, I mean, that's kind of his thing. Like he's always been like the rogue runner. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, how'd you like the T-47s?
Dude, they almost won a game today. So we started out. What was the deployment? It was not disarray. Hemmed in. Thank you.
Yes.
I haven't practiced that one a whole lot, but we also had the bomb delivery one with the carts getting out there pushing
payload,
and then extra fortifications. So it was actually pretty good. Unfortunately, because of how you place your destination tokens, and I was the red player on Hemmed In, that meant I had to pick one of the sides. And I tried to get cute, and I was like, well, I'm going to push it all the way forward and put it sideways because you get a free pivot, and I'll be able to go around. And then I would not thinking that, of course, he's going to put it on the other side of the board. So we got to turn 5, and I was like, yeah, there's no way. He's already touched his because he gets to set it right in the middle from the blue player side. And, I was able to get within range. Couldn't do quite enough. We realized if I had actually, had it facing, in a normal direction, not tried to get cute, I would have won the game. But so it went down 3-2. But I killed so many guys that I feel like it was a cathartic victory at least. Like so many guys. I think he had like 7 models on the board at the end. I just couldn't kill them all.
Was it the T-47s killing most of the things?
T-47s were doing really good. I was plinking shots off with the ATRTs. They were kind of keeping things hemmed in. They actually, kept... Jeff's really good at preserving his guys. Like he will have... The board he brought is still under construction, so he didn't have quite all the line of sight blocking he may want. I think you commented on it before game.
Yeah.
But he did a fantastic job of like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be able to hide all these guys, but I'm gonna give you this one guy, and then the other guy's gonna be completely out of line of sight. So towards the end, when he was just running out of models, I was killing, throwing buckets of dice and killing one guy. He had some really bad saves on his game too, until it came to Cassian and K2. Holy cow, those guys tank shots.
Well, Danger Sense helps a lot. But
it does. I mean, yeah, he was rolling, you got 3 wounds through here. Let me throw 8 dice. And it's, okay. Maybe chip 1 through, maybe 2. It was pretty good.
Now, how did you use the hotshot pilot, right?
Yes, that was one of the changes I made after a couple of games with the T-47s. I was taking the outer rim jockey. And so we're kind of testing out the A5 stuff, the hotshot, the jockey pilot. What is the
hotshot pilot?
Pilot, yeah. Okay. To remove one of the levels of cover with Sharpshooter 1. And I like it a lot. The T-47s are still fairly, survivable with, cover 1 as it is. And then armor, unless you're skewing or expecting to fight armor. He actually brought ion guns with this list because he's anticipating this vehicle heavy meta.
Ions on the Rebel troopers?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. But they're only range 2, as I recall, right?
No, they're range 3.
Are they range 3?
Okay. Range 3.
Well, I was able to swoop in there with the T-47s and just drop them. So
so there's a Rebel upgrade heavy weapon that is Impact. That's range 2.
The Ithorian shotgun.
It's the Ithorian shotgun guy.
Yeah, he had that guy too.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So yeah, he had him pretty well kitted out. But rebel saves are rebel saves.
Yeah.
And the might of the other rebels could not be resisted until they just won the game anyway. So, but it was a really fun game. I'm liking a lot. I'm definitely considering this to be the list that I bring to LSO with some minor tweaking. I want to get another game with the way it was, but we've been doing a lot of kind of shopping, just shopping lists amongst our group here. Like, okay, what could I have done better? How can I, better change these points around? Maybe this is working for me. And I kind of like where it's sitting right now. I am missing Leia as my commander. The Rebel officer's cool. That 1 pip card, though, because there isn't any options. The Rebel operative.
The covert operations.
The covert, it's... so, like, I had to run it in this one, and I didn't have a operative or an elite slot.
It's still a 1 pip.
It's a 1 pip, yeah. And I realized, okay, that's kind of cool. And with HU uplinks, that can still be beneficial. It's just, man, I wish I had something else I could plug in there.
Anyway, and that ability that it has to, make your opponent actually put 1 less order token out.
That is actually still really nice. I mean, a maximum of 1 order token. So, yeah, because it was errated, but...
Oh, wow, yeah. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's even better now. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually, I guess I shouldn't be complaining because that is a really great ability. Mm-hmm. I just played it poorly when he only had 1 order going out anyway, so.
Well, you weren't the only one to play their errated command card poorly.
Oh, good. So let's see. How did your guys' game go?
Do we want to go into that, or do you want to talk about your game yet?
Oh, let me think. Is there any other highlights I can mention? I had one droid, and that was actually seemed to be pretty good just to plink out repairs. He was not very offensive in this game. Like, he was playing the objective and trying to preserve his guys after some, like, it started pulling off, like, multiple models within the first turn. So, because I start a little bit more forward with the setup.
Hemmed in, you're already pretty close. And
and I was actually within range 3, and I had the barricade set up, so they were just content to sit there and send shots down range.
I think with the T-47s too, you're able. I mean, you basically flanked them around this game, right?
Yeah. So I started with them. Almost everything was on the left side. The T-47s, the bomb cart, and then one unit of naked veterans, was kind of escorting the cart on the right side. But yeah, I just kind of zoomed the T-47s out and around and started picking off his guys that, because they're so freaking fast, you can just get behind the cover and opening up. And even if they do get heavy cover, it's down to light, and you're probably hitting with at least 4 or 5 shots out of the high quality dice. And you're aiming almost every turn. It was getting to the point where there was few guys left in the squads. I wasn't even aiming. I was just readying to get my HQ uplinks back. So, but it felt like that's how they should be run, and I was enjoying that.
So I think that you should get some reps in with that, because to be honest with you, I think what Jeff was saying is probably pretty accurate. I could see there being a little bit of a swing towards armor.
Yeah, and there's actually something that came up in our group chat the other night, and the only thing, the best thing to deal with a 2-vehicle list is with 2 vehicles, especially when you've got Impact 3 on 2 of them.
Exactly, like nothing else has Impact 3. Well, like the AT-RT laser cannon has Impact 3, but I mean, like that's presuming you're hitting with all 3.
Yeah,
I mean I think that is going to be one of the sneaker, like, good. I mean, it's already good. Like, all those upgrades that it got since I stopped playing, the price decrease, the surge to crit, a lot of things got better about it. I think that when you see these AA5s make an impact on the meta, because they will, I
see what you
promise
did
there. You they will. What better to crack those babies open than a pair of T-47s?
Yeah. So get ready for your strafing run now. Yeah, it'll be interesting. One thing of note from our game, this is something we had talked about after our Tuesday game, was your idea for a fire supporting emplacement trooper with a Z6 rebel trooper squad. And I got to live that dream today.
Oh, did it work?
Yeah.
Work out for you?
Yeah, I chucked out 8 black dice and 6 white dice and caused 3 wounds. So
because of
armor
saves, or because of armor saves?
It's black and white dice, and
okay.
it's buckets. So it could have been amazing, but
that's what I was about to ask. Did you roll blanks, or did he block everything?
Yeah, it was a lot of blanks. It was pretty bad. But honestly, the emplacement troopers with the critical too are fabulous.
Yeah,
I've been getting a lot of work out of them, especially when I could start them forward in heavy barricades, and they're just They can get those crits out there sometimes. Yeah,
that was something I kind of theory crafted back before I got out of the game, where I was like, with these, throwing the Z6s, I hate Z6s. I hate it because so many times I would roll surges, and like you couple that with the fire support you would get. I mean, you get a couple.
I'm not sold on it yet. It was cute. I saw the chance to set it up, and I was like, let's give it a go. And I don't know. We'll try it some more.
Yeah, I think it's a fun thing to work with, but I think those T-47s are
that, and then the AT-RTs can put out some punch. But other than that, it was a really fun game. We had pizza, we talked, we laughed. Jeff complained about armor saves, and then he won. So
just like old times.
Yes. Oh man,
nothing has
great.
changed.
Yeah, nothing. But AA5. So I just tested those upgrades. What did you guys find? Because what's your list, John?
All right, so I've been basically like a mad scientist in my room trying to figure out all the different ways you can use AA5s to make people hate you.
I don't know if we shouted out, but John is actually going to be doing some freelance writing for 5th Trooper now.
Yeah, I'll be writing some blogs for 5th Trooper.
So you're gathering research right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's for my own personal gain too. I want to, I want to know how to make this AA5 work.
Well, that's nice. You can kill 2 birds.
Yeah. With them. But I'll have an article coming up soon on basically their unit guide to AA5s.
Yay!
But I've been putting together some lists. Put together 5 different lists.
Wow!
I won't go through what's in every single one of them. But
some variation.
Variations of running 1, a couple of them running 2, a couple of them running with Wookiees, a couple running with Mandalorians.
Wait, not everyone running with Wookiees?
Like 3 of them have some Wookiees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real here. It's my list.
Yeah. At the end of the day.
But the one that Matt chose for me, because I basically just like, all right, Matt, pick one for me. So he went with the Rebel Van Fleet.
Yes,
which is a playoff of Greta Van Fleet.
Yes, and which is entertaining. But I wanted to see Fleet Troopers. I wanted for those 40K players from before or even still a Rhino Rush type thing. Drive them up, drop them out, and shoot a bunch of crap.
Yeah, and I've always liked Fleet Troopers. I mean, I have 3 boxes of them. There's no reason for that, but
that range too kind of hurts, and those vests don't save a lot of damage to get them into position.
No, so but you get a full squad of them. I mean, that's 10 white dice and 2 red dice with Pierce.
Yeah, I was gonna say scattergun for sure, right? Yeah.
So the list that I ended up going with was 2 AA5s, R2D2, 2 units of Fleet Troopers totally kitted out. And then 4 units of Rebel Troopers, 2 of them with DLTs, and 2 ATRTs with rotary blasters. So it kind of did the same thing you were doing with armor skew.
Yeah.
Putting more armor out there than somebody really had the impact to deal with.
How many points did the AA5s end up being?
The AA5s, one of them was 128, the other one was 106.
Wow,
with all the stuff.
Really cheap.
Yeah, so I ran AA5 base 75 points.
Okay.
Right? But some of these upgrades that you can throw on them are like you staple to that card. Like
they're so gross.
So for anybody who hasn't really looked at the AA5 card, you've got the pilot slot, you've got 2 crew slots, a hard point, and a comms. And both of them right off the bat, comms jammers. Because
really? Yeah. Okay.
So I'm thinking I'm putting Fleet Troopers in there, I'm driving up to the front lines, throw some comms jammers on there just to disrupt their order. Basically I built this list anticipating running into a Rex Star.
Okay.
I want something that can
so you want
something
that's going to work against the current
counter meta. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, I think this thing has the capability of doing it.
Okay.
Just the speed it can go at. Those comms jammers are going to prevent a a Republic player from throwing out fire support left and right.
Oh yeah.
Now for the crew slots,
call,
I mean, it's only 3 points for the comms, or 5 points for the comms jammer. It used to be 15.
Yeah.
So 5 points. I mean, God.
It's not really the points cost in it. I think it's cheap. It is for what it does. It's that you're sacrificing something else in that slot.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to want to put HQ uplink.
Yeah, HQ uplink. Yeah,
that
that's
base
a big one.
is so huge that radius on that comms jammer.
That's true too. That's just some geometry there.
Yeah, I mean, just talking about that. I mean, we proxied it, so we were kind of anticipating. We used the Gav base, but we were kind of anticipating what the size would be. But in our game, essentially, I mean, we'll get into a little bit more later, but I was able to just block off entire alleyways that nobody could walk or go through because of their ability to move, and then they have the reposition keyword. So you can just pretty much pivot yourself to, a revolving door.
Basically, just turn 90 degrees and you have a wall. That's what
what I'm visualizing here in my theater of the mind's eye is like an 80s action movie where the good guy runs through an alley and all of a sudden a garbage truck just kind of pulls in behind him and everybody's like, oh, come on, basically.
Except for they were riding on the garbage truck. So in this situation, the hero is the garbage man.
Yes.
Which why has that not been an 80s movie yet?
Right?
Dolph Lundgren, get on that.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's probably been at least one or two.
I'm racking
the
my
trash
brain.
man.
Yeah. Didn't Mel Gibson do that? Well, anyways.
Don't you mean every Mel Gibson? No.
Yeah.
No, so I mean, just the base, the model itself creates a lot of issues for your opponent. But yeah, so comms jammer, I got a lot of good effect with today.
Nice.
The crew upgrade that I think is going to be everyone's going to want is the tactical. The unorthodox tactician.
You I think. Before we stopped counting on turn 4, you were mid-missed maybe 3 or 4 opportunities to give out aims. It was just obscene.
I rolled well with it, but honestly, the card. So 10 points, and essentially you roll at the beginning of the game, so at the beginning of the round. So it's not even like during your activation, or whatever. It's the beginning of the activation phase. You roll 3 red dice. On any paint, you give out an aim token.
Wow.
To any unit, not even trooper, any unit within range 3. So
I might need a support bus for my T-47.
Yeah,
it's 66. Well, you can't if you're running 2 of
too
them.
many heavies. Good point. Yeah.
But if you've got,
It's cute.
if you run statistically average,
Yeah.
you're rolling 2 aim tokens per AA5. And you can give it to a unit that's inside the vehicle, or you can give it to 2 of them. So right off the bat, turn 1, you can throw that on the fleet trooper sitting inside, and they've already got a name token. This is it's so powerful because number one, it doesn't cost you an action; it happens automatically at the beginning of the activation phase.
So
and then,
action economy.
And then rebels need aim tokens.
Yeah,
there's nothing that gives aim
seems
tokens.
like it's giving them exactly what they need.
Yeah. It's always kind of like the Imperials got aim token generation, Rebels got dodge generation.
Yeah.
Well, this is the first time all of a sudden it's here, Oprah, you get an aim token, you get an aim token, and everybody gets aim tokens.
Yeah.
And
So when are Imperials getting their dodge generation? That'd be great.
Dodge matchups, maybe.
So that was one of the crew upgrades that I really liked. I ran it on both of them. The Gonk droid was pretty good. It gives 2 shield
You get that
tokens
shield,
to it.
yeah.
And then, of course, at the end of the turn, you get a 50-50 chance of recovering each one of them. So, that was really good. You never really even shot at them all that much.
I shot at them when you use them as walls, and it was the only feasible target I would have.
Okay.
And I plinked off some shields, but you ended up regenerating them, and it was...
Yeah.
So
The Gonk droid's good. It's also 10 points. I don't know that it's necessary because some of the other upgrades are so good. There's also the Backworld Medic, and that one only works to range 1, and it actually costs you an action, but you remove a wound, remove a poison token, or recover a mini. And it's unlike having to take heal bots or whatever. There's no limit to it, so you can do it every single turn.
I love each and every one of these upgrades.
Yeah, the only one that came with it that I didn't try running at all was the R5. The
crazy
short circuiting R5 or whatever, because I didn't run any weapons in the hard points.
Why has no one nicknamed him Johnny 5 yet? Short circuiting.
There you go. All right.
So I think he's got some place, but I think he's actually better served being used on a X-34. Because the X-34 you can put a ton of weapons on there.
Interesting X-34 builds. I played against one last week, and having Gonk and one of those astromechs on an X-34 was kind of crazy. He was kitted out.
So we'll actually talk about.
Okay.
We'll come to that in a little bit because I actually did make another list that did that with this particular droid.
Oh, all right.
And it can throw a lot of dice. But anyway, so for this game, I didn't run that one at all. For my pilots, I ran Shriv as a field commander in one of them, and he gives out, as a free action, dodge token. And the option of a suppression if you want it. Unlike Governor Price, who's just no, you're suppressed.
Oh, yeah.
And then Reckless Driver. And Reckless Driver, I think that was the only thing on my list that didn't really work out.
Because you didn't roll a single damage on the Reckless Driver. You ran into a lot of people.
I did, yeah.
You were getting surges like crazy, but no actual block results.
So yeah, I think I ran, I think 14 dice I threw for it, and I didn't get a single one. So, statistically, I should have gotten at least 2.5. But either way,
sometimes it'd be like that.
But his real strength, I think, is just getting that compulsory move.
Oh yeah, extra movement action is.
It's nice because better action economy. Keep in mind that first compulsory move does count as a standard move. So if you plan on getting your guys out, disembarking from your vehicle, and doing anything that turn, you can't double move. So that's really the only thing you got to keep in mind with that. But yeah, so those 2 units combine about 230 points, say. Not like a huge chunk of my army. A decent amount, but
a Jedi.
A good Jedi Luke, basically.
Just the utility they give is just obscene.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
The only things I would change, I think I might throw that 16-point retrofit laser on it, just to have something to do.
Just in case they're we're blocking the alley. We got targets because we can see everything. But
Because I think after I dropped off the stuff with Shriv, He didn't really have anything to do.
No, there were actually turns where you're like, dodge?
Just take a standby and a dodge. Yeah, I mean, there was nothing you could do. So that would be my only real change that I think from that I would make. So Dan, how did you think the AA5s went? What was it like trying to face them?
Oh man, we were talking about Rebel armor SKU earlier, and this was another armor SKU with those and your ATRTs in this list. Because I would pour fire in them with my shore troopers. Now I'll break down my list in a moment, but without any natural impact, and I was rolling some crits, but you were able to block some of them. So I really took my army's entire effort just to kill the ATRTs.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you're rolling up with these guys. You're basically making a shield wall for your troopers. I had no good shots on your troopers till much later in the game. And that was a combination you exploiting the terrain, because we were on the Star Tours board. And we had several, line of sight blocking clusters, and they were pretty perfectly sized for you just to drive.
Who set the board up here?
Actually, I did.
Well, like from what I understand, like most tournaments, they try to like set up their terrain so that you have at least range 1 between large obstacles.
Yeah,
so.
And I think with the new stuff I'm building for the board, I think it's getting a little cluttered. I might have to start cutting back.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, too many good ideas for the board.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. We're going to take a short break, and we'll come back and we'll conclude the talk with Dan talking about his list and then actually how the game played out. Be right back. Hey guys, Matt here to tell you about our friends over at 6UP Supply. If you're like me and don't have access to your own 3D printers, 6UP Supply has you covered with a whole suite of printing services to bring those awesome files to life. The Outriders are proud to be partnered with 6UP, and you could find special themed terrain, gear, and tokens with a big discount for Patreon members in the Outrider Central section of the website. And that's not all. You can also get terrain bases, game supplies, tools, LED kits, and more. Stuff is being added all the time. So stop by the number 6upsupply.com and use coupon code OUTRIDER to save 10% on your next order, and let them help you up your game.
You are receiving the Legion Outriders podcast. Ending the transmission now would be most unfortunate. And now, the Outriders.
All right, Dan. So what did you bring? Obviously, you had a lot of, that Rebel armor to chew through.
Yeah. And
what did you bring to counter
something I've been developing for a little bit. I'm calling it Kelly Shores.
Actually worked with the Kelly Shores before.
Yeah. But it's a callous with aggressive tactics and a bunch of shore troopers. And I'm just trying to build these shore troopers to be as close to phase 2s as possible. At least that's my idea.
Okay.
It's shore troopers with their heavy and an officer in each one, which gives it, courage to enough inspire that suppression isn't going to matter. And whenever they get a order, because all my orders are going on the shores with this list, they get both a name from their natural target and a surge token from aggressive tactics. So I'm trying to build up tokens, and shores do hit like trucks when they have lots of
and good soldiers
and good
soldiers
orders. Exactly. Yes. So it's callous with aggressive tactics, and he himself has his bow rifle and tenacity, because actually this is the first game I've had Callus not get into melee, now that I think about it.
Oh, really?
Okay. He usually ends up in melee every time I've tested this. He's got, Imperial Becky, Karen, one generic officer with electro binoculars. She just hands out aims. And 3 shore troopers with the heavy and the officer, and offensive push.
Nice.
And this is where I'm still tweaking, is I have Gideon. I've been waffling between him being in a shore squad or a snow squad. I did try snows today.
Interesting.
I'm not liking the snows. I'm thinking going back to shores.
I was kind of hoping we'd see more snows here again.
And then 1 mortar to round it out, and 3 sniper strike teams.
Oh, wow.
So
how'd they do?
They were decent as long as the AA5s weren't blocking all of his troopers.
Okay.
So I had very few line of sight shots on there.
So let's see. So for heavy armor, I had crits?
Yeah, basically critical is what I was banking on.
Yeah. Okay, so no impact.
No, there was no natural impact in there. So I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, I got enough critical. I can hopefully chew through that. But no, I mean, the few times I did get points in on your ATRTs, you had a couple saves on your ATRTs.
Very few, yeah.
But I mean, they kept them alive.
Yeah. Okay, well, paint us a picture. What was the game setup?
Oh, yes.
So we did hemmed in, just like you.
That's right.
We had
Good
key positions and clear conditions. So, I mean, essentially, I was blue player, so I had the central point in the hemmed in. I was supposed to be the one hemmed in.
Yeah.
Dan kind of hemmed himself in.
Yeah. No, I turned zero played myself.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
We got so much in common.
Yeah, no, I placed everything on one side of the hemmed in, thinking I could.
Okay.
And silly me, his AA5s are built for clone balls. So what did I do? I emulated a clone ball. All my shores together, Gideon and begging to do it. Yeah. So
essentially, I used my Shriv AA5 to block off one channel.
Okay.
Kind of swept in around the back to flank behind his stuff, and then the Reckless Driver did what Reckless Drivers do and just drove straight down the central alley.
Straight in. You did donuts over one shore squad. Not just
spinning.
You did literal donuts.
Yep, just kept spinning around in circles.
No, it was pivot, hard left, pivot, hard left.
I mean, I was number one trying to displace and run over his guys, and number two maintain that comms jammer to prevent him from order sharing, which he did a pretty good job of for most of it. We even forgot last couple turns.
It didn't really affect anything.
But that second turn, I mean, he was within range one of almost everything in your army.
Yeah, you had two snipers and the mortar were not in range of the comms jammer.
Everything else
was.
I would now like to have some headcanon that the comms jammer on the AA5 is just like playing Freedom Rock on every frequency.
Oh god, yeah, it was.
Now that I think about it, every turn you made with Reckless Driver was a left turn, so he was NASCARing.
He was NASCARing.
So Skinnerd makes sense.
Yeah, driving donuts over at least two of the shore squads.
Yeah.
I mean, you dropped on the back one with Shriv, you did drop some fleet troopers off, and I went to intercept them with Gideon, so Gideon was literally on the back edge of the board for 3 turns of the game.
That was one thing I kind of messed up, was I didn't really get a ton of effect out of the fleet troopers. Part of that was, the first turn with one of them, I just deleted Callus off the board.
Yeah.
They dumped
12
shots into Callus with Pierce with I think they had 2 aims at that point. And you had
that's hot.
No, but I think I rolled 7 blocks, but then you had the Pierce, so it was exactly the amount you needed to kill him.
Yeah. So it was they did work. Dan did roll a lot of saves in this game, so I had a little bit to work through with that, but I mean, that unit of fleet troopers killed Callus and then pretty much got deleted. Yeah. And then
it was like a fair trade, but
and the other unit, you kind of basically sacrificed a unit to tie them up, and then I was able to pull out and shoot them with everything else I had in the army.
The one moment of brilliance I feel I had in the game was, you know what? How do I stop a bunch of fleets really close to me? I'll just run into melee.
There you go.
They don't hit as hard in melee as they do
sure
shooting.
Don't.
So I ran my shores into melee and punched them, took a couple out, and they basically punched each other for the rest of the game
just ramming each other with their bike helmets.
Yeah, I mean, you played well with the uphill battle that you faced.
Yeah,
because it was with the amount of armor that I had, the lack of impact, with the turn 0, the way that played out, and with putting yourself in a corner.
Yeah,
you had a very, very large hill to scale.
Yeah, if I had at least dropped 2 units ashore and maybe something else in the other hemmed in area, it would have been, you would have had to divide your stuff much more, and basically you just focused on my ball of troopers. And
I just pretty much ignored half the board, and
pretty much
I put 1 naked trooper squad sitting on that last key position and kind of hit them, and I was like, all right, so I'm going to concentrate everything on this half the board, which worked out well. I mean, the ATRTs didn't do a whole lot offensively, shots. But they soaked shots. Yeah. I mean, they provided a threat. And
did you have any kind of repair? You had R2 with
I did have R2, but
did he do any reps or?
After I realized he wasn't going to shoot the A5s, I just basically sent him to score.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not going to worry about him.
He's got a secret mission.
He did, and he scored a secret mission. So his ending score was 3-1, John.
Oh, okay.
So,
I think with those A5s, like I was saying before, once they dropped off their once they drop the kids off at the pool, they have nothing else to do.
Forget the fleet troopers at soccer practice.
Yeah, right. World's most deadly soccer practice. I mean, they really didn't have a whole lot else to do. So, short of tossing out some heals, I also kind of screwed up because I put Shriv on the outside, which left him too far away from all the actual fighting to give out most of those medic tokens. Or to
well, I
heal.
think that's just going to be one of those. Hey, now that I put them on the table, I can start,
and
figuring out the
since you had the gonk, the shields on the reckless driver.
Yeah.
I mean, would it have been better to throw the heal on that to keep him up front?
I mean, it might. So the thing is, the heal actually costs an action.
Oh, right, it does.
For R2.
Yeah. So
for the backrolled medic.
Okay.
Medic,
I'm sorry.
which it might not be bad because I do technically get a free action with the reckless driver. So that would only cost me 2 or one of those, but I still have the move and another option. So I mean that's a possibility. I could put him in there. I kind of want to keep a gonk droid because I worry that somebody's going to bring a lot of impact. Like somebody brought 2 T-47s out there, and
chances of running into that kind of list are
I know, right?
astronomical.
Who brings those?
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily want to drop that yet, but we'll see. I'll give it a couple more games. I do want to try out a couple of those other lists too, but yeah, back into this game. I think as much as they do for the upgrades and make the actual the blocking that they do and like the what do you call it, like the board changes that happen because of having those on there, the line of sight blocking, the like alleyway blocking and stuff like that. Like it makes it a lot harder to try to plan around those.
But so far, it seems like it's a really favorable report for the AA5.
Yeah, I mean, one game, but yeah.
Yeah, one game.
I'm liking it.
So far, we'll probably play again this Tuesday.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see.
And I just love how when the LAAT and the AA5 were announced, everyone's like, yay, LAAT and poo-poo AA5.
I'm really hoping things swing around for the LAAT.
Yeah, because right now it's kind of in the meh field.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and I think some people who may not be interested in the AA5, that's just not their play style.
Sure.
There are some upgrades in there that I think can make other units the Rebels have better.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, you've been playing with the Hotshot Pilot.
Yep.
And, that's done a lot for the T-47. That one thing I was going to tell you real quick with the X-34. So if you run that unstable astromech with them, so what the unstable astromech basically does is it allows you to do another move or another attack at the end of your activation, and then you risk suffering 2 damage. You roll 2 white dice, and I believe on any paint you suffer a wound for it.
Okay.
So there's a chance of hurting yourself, but if you put on the land speeder, if you put on the rocket launcher that you would normally have, the rocket gunner, the Mark II medium blaster, and then of course it's got Arsenal 3 and the 3 white dice it throws already anyway. Yeah, you're throwing a massive order pool. Throw that Hotshot Pilot on there so you've got Sharpshooter 1, and in that one turn, if you get that correct bubble, I think you're throwing something like 6 white and 5 black with Sharpshooter 1.
Nice.
It's a pretty gross amount of dice.
What's the final bill on that for the X-34?
For the X-34, 136 points. Jeez. That's with a unstable astromech, Mark II medium blaster, link targeting array, so you get the free aim for moving. I'm sorry, for giving it the order. You get the free aim. Because with as many dice, you're going to want some aims. Yeah. And then the Hotshot Gunner, Hotshot Pilot, and Rocket Gunner. So 136.
That's not bad. That does a lot. It's got impact and all that good stuff, range 4.
And throwing those 11 dice, that's for one attack.
Yeah.
If you're doing that twice in one turn, I mean, there's a chance you can delete 2 units in one turn.
Yeah. Well, that bears more investigation for sure.
Yeah, so that might be something worth looking into as well. So
yeah,
I love this wave because it's making all of the Rebel heavies better.
It's funny, just throwing out some of those optional upgrades that can affect multiple units can really kind of shift how you design your lists and the things you go for. So this is really cool. Dan, how's things down in the Imperial Salt Mines?
It's very deep.
Very deep.
Very deep.
Oh, so what do you think if you expect that you're going to be seeing more of these kind of vehicle lists, AA5s, T-47s, whatever, what have you? What would you make adjustments to in your list? Because I feel like you've been pretty. You've got your units that you like to do.
Yeah.
Do you see any adjustments there? Can I interest you in some slightly used ATSTs?
You can fit so much impact in these
Previously
babies, right?
enjoyed. Yes.
I mean, I did run the ATST in the early days, but I haven't in quite some time. In fact, I think the last time I ran against you, John.
Yeah, I think so.
Way back, I think it was with the store.
And then Death Troopers came out.
And then, that Death Troopers, and then, my boo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't
right.
yet. Though my old Iden list, my Iden ISFs does have 4 squads of stormtroopers with DLTs in it.
Yeah,
so
maybe the DLT poke might be back for that in Act 1.
The LAT.
It's something.
The LAT does have, if you throw some shells on there, or get some impact or critical.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff, and I've just been casually throwing it in list builders, 140-ish points or so to get the Baron some HE shells and.
I mean, what was old may be new again, because that was always the downfall of T-47 back when it was like Wave 1 was there was DLTs everywhere.
Yeah.
They just loved to kill speeders. So it's only got those 7 wounds. And if you're just like, well, here's highly accurate and maybe we'll fish some crits out, you could take them off the table in 1 round easily.
Well, and also the T-47 was a lot more expensive back then too. So
I mean, but it went on really cheap units. So
yeah, that's fair. No, I mean, I do think the DLT still has a lot of play. For both Rebels and for clones and for
everybody gets DLTs.
No, I don't think you're going to see the DLTs going away at all. No. If there's going to be an aggressive meta that pops out because of this, could Darth Vader come back?
Wouldn't that be something?
I mean, what better linebacker unit do you have? Somebody who can...
Maybe Operative Vader, but Vader still needs work.
Yeah.
He needs...
I could see Op Vader. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
I mean, he still throws a lightsaber at Impact 3, right?
Dan.
Yeah.
Op Vader.
Op Vader.
Do it. Do it.
And we do have one local... it has played Vader since day one.
Yeah,
player.
that's true.
I may have to pick his brain for stuff.
Okay.
But,
yeah. I'd be interested in Dan's take on things. But any final thought on that AE5/game you guys played?
No, I mean, I think that it's going to be interesting to see how this changes the meta, because I think it will have some impact on it.
I mean, in our game, terrain really did come into play.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you think a more sparse board? Actually, you have more room to maneuver.
I think I'm actually
bigger donuts.
Yeah, bigger donuts.
The more sparse the board is, the better it is for the AA5.
Yeah,
it's easier to maneuver. I mean, I can create my own cover just by having guys hide behind the vehicle.
Yeah,
so
he's bringing it with him anyways. So
so I think that competitively in in-person games, it's going to be really good. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see more of that, and hopefully it should be coming out here. I've heard early reports that some of the stuff is being shipped. So
yeah, some of the people on our Discord, the Outrider Discord, have been saying that their pre-orders, they've been getting charged for it and getting processing emails.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. So we did mention that there was a little bit of May the 4th information that came out.
Oh yes.
So and might as well talk about it real quick, because we've got the Wookiee here.
I was so excited when this came out,
and then you were less excited.
Oh no, I'm still very excited.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I could have sworn your responses were like, "Oh, good. Oh, okay." Kind of tepid. They got reined in.
Okay, so I was hoping for something with Pierce, like an actual melee weapon, but okay, the model's awesome.
Okay, well let's say what is this, because we're kind of talking around it right now.
Okay, yeah. So we're talking about the Battle Shield Wookiee. It's a heavy upgrade that they showed off at May the 4th. It's 26 points, which is 5 points cheaper than the Bowcaster, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's got 2 sides. So you basically can either do it defensively, which is 2 black dice on offense, and it gives you armor 1, but you have speed 1. So you're moving at maximum speed 1.
Okay.
Or you have the offensive mode, which is 2 red dice when you throw for offense, and just that. It doesn't reduce your movement.
Okay, so it's punching you with the shield thing, and the other one it's shielding with a shield.
Yeah, exactly.
So no pierce or anything like that.
Nope.
It seems I think I know where they're going with this, but you are giving up that nice piercing crossbow kind of thing.
That's kind of the rough thing, is the fact that like this guy doesn't have a ranged weapon. Yeah. So not only do you lose that pierce, you lose a red and white die. So I mean that kind of hurts it. Obviously, if you're running just for melee, yeah, throwing 2 more red dice instead of 2 black dice is great. It's 5 points cheaper. Awesome.
Yeah. He can use the default pistol that the core unit has, though.
It can.
Yes, he can.
Oh.
Yeah, any add-on.
Oh, what's that one rule? The sidearm.
The sidearm. Yeah, he doesn't have sidearm.
That. Oh, okay. Good
so
call.
So he can still throw black and white.
Yeah. So any heavy unit added to, or any unit added to,
it's black and white for the pistol. I think you said red and white previously.
No, it's red and white for the bowcaster.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I was saying he would lose that because it wasn't a bowcaster.
Right.
Oh, okay. Look at me learning the rules here.
Hey,
that's actually awesome. So that's not that bad then.
Yeah.
But it seems to me this is one of those upgrades you're going to want to take. It's like, okay, I want to take an objective with these guys, and they're going to be sitting there.
And having that armor, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
it's...
Man, Armor 1's not nothing. I had to deal with that with K2SO and Heavy Cover, and it kept him alive for quite a bit. And if you've just got those raw Wookiee wounds sitting behind that, it's not too shabby.
Yeah, 12 wounds behind Armor 1.
Yeah. You're like, okay, take a dice off.
Maybe it's my play style. I see myself
running. That's very true.
I see myself running on offensive mode all the time. I very rarely see myself running that defensively. Losing that speed 1 or moving down to speed 1, Wookiees, part of the reason they're so good is because they're so fast.
Yeah.
Deceptively fast.
And just being able to jump over buildings, basically. Yeah, it's amazing.
So losing that, the ability to do that, because, I mean, very few buildings are going to be, only movement 1. A lot of times you got to go full movement to get over on the scale. I don't want to lose that speed. So you're right.
This might just be a play style, conflict here. You like to get them out there, be aggressive, lock people up with them. This is going to be, okay, I want to play objectives. I want them to sit there and weather the storm and still be there at the end of it. Kind of play.
I mean, I guess if you're playing like Intercept the Transmissions and you need a unit to be able to sit on an objective for 2 turns,
multiple
facing
rounds,
fire.
Yeah.
I mean, normally for like key positions or something like that, I would rather just have a naked rebel trooper squad hiding on a line of sight and then just move them in when I need them.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you need somebody to camp an objective, I guess it's a viable way to use them. 95% of the time though, I've got offensive on.
Yeah, and losing the access to Pierce, which is really good against a lot of armies right now, especially with Gar and Dan.
Right?
Not even Empire, just Dan.
No, I mean, I was saying, how many times did like the only kill I got in on a unit today was because of a Pierce? So I love that Pierce keyword.
But at least it's an option.
It's a 4th body and he's 5 points cheaper.
How are we supposed to get this card?
In the Wookiees pack that's coming
on
the
next
upcoming
wave. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool.
And they didn't say they're just selling this one by itself, right? It could be part of a whole upgrade kit or something, right?
No. The new Wookiees pack that's coming for Gar is going to be dual faction for Rebels as well.
Yeah. I think you were not playing at the time, and we talked about it just a little bit, but we haven't really mentioned it. Oh, okay. So
to break it down, it's a new Wookiee pack. It's going to have actually 4 unit cards in it, 2 for Gar, 2 for Rebels.
Oh, okay.
And we'll have the current Wookiee card eroded for both Gar and Rebels.
Nice.
And then a new variant of Wookiees that's more ranged oriented in the base squad. So they'll actually have rifles. And they showed a model of that earlier on.
Oh, nice.
I'll have to bring up the speed on all these.
Dude, it's going to be a Wookiee kind of.
But all of their upgrades are interchangeable. So you can have the bowcaster on the new ranged oriented squad, or you can have this guy on the original Wookiee squad.
So
Wookiees are just going to get crazy options.
I'm probably going to buy 3 more now.
It's going to be the hard plastic
sculpts.
Yeah, I'm excited for the sculpts too, because just painting these new plastic sprue.
Sell me your old Wookiees. I really like those.
No, I'm excited for this. I may have been a little less excited about the card, but the model itself is gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to paint up that shield. It kind of got like a cool Polynesian look to it.
It looks really cool. Yeah, he's kind of the model is really interesting too. It's a lot of intricate detail there, so it's just further proof that they're really stepping up the modeling game here.
Yeah,
especially with a really fun unit like the Wookiees. But yeah. Okay, well, there you go. Some more Wookiees on the way to supplement forces out there in a galaxy far, far away.
John, the next 2 waves are going to be awesome for you.
Oh, yeah.
The AA5 and then the Wookiees after that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I came back at the right time.
Absolutely. Yeah, no time like the present. But thank you again, John, for joining us today and for the games and the reports there. We look forward to your article. And we can find you on the grams, right?
Yep. Outrider_John. So that's where I got all my painted stuff on there.
Fantastic. Dan on Discord.
Floating around the Discord as Outrider_Dan, both ours and this General Legion Discord. And oh yes, speaking of Legion Discord, the LVO channel has reopened.
The LVO channel's up. Yeah.
The party is back.
Yeah.
Everyone get in there and have a good time.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And of course, you can find me on Twitter at grn_archer or captain_archer at Twitch. We want to take a second to say thank you to all our Patreons, and we're going to be unveiling the next Patreon award next week. Well, we've been teasing it. It's the Cantobite / Las Vegas sign printable file that's going to be available for everybody that's an active Patreon, and also, of course, our friends over at 6 Up Supply, I said very clearly, are going to have download options for people that want to support the show, and they will print it out for you and send it to you. We get a little kickback. They get a little kickback. It's wonderful. But otherwise, we will see you next time, Outriders. Have a good one.
This concludes the current episode of the Legion Outriders podcast. You may cultivate a tactical advantage by observing the Outriders on Facebook or Twitter at Legion Outriders. Wisdom advocates subscribing to the podcast. Acting otherwise is reckless.